This week on football, referee happy to see the ball. Haaland hits the target twice. Englishman settles the French dispute. Cole gets palmed off. Most respectful Thunderbolt ever. Referee admits foul play. Malacia is alive. Pep is fuming. And Tyler Dibbling proves me immediately right.
I think there's a massive future for this guy. Don't want to get ahead of myself. But Southampton fans, I would be buzzing about this kid.
Hello everyone, welcome to This Week on Football. It is me, Alex, as usual. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you've not already liked this video because it's already amazing, hit the like button. And if you want to share it to your friends and tell them that you've got a really cool podcast that you listen to and it earns you money when you listen to it because Alex has got really great tips, then tell them. Why are you not already telling them? It's important. If you want to see the best bits of the show and you don't want to stay here for the long haul, I'm on Alex Goalpost. That's over on TikTok. So Alex Goalpost on TikTok. We've got a few of you over there and it's pretty much all of the highlights. I do a little bit of fancy editing to put some clips together, and usually there's a couple of chomps on there at the moment as well. So it's well worth going over and following me. If you haven't already followed Vince, he's Vince Goalpost. If you haven't followed Baker, it's Baker Goalpost. And then if you haven't followed the show, it's Goalpost TV on TikTok. We're also on Instagram. That's that done. Right, this week we're going to be doing my team of the week. I've got my team of the week. I've got my weekend treble at the end. And I'm going to be looking at your teams on day one fantasy. What is interesting about that is I think we may have reached the final 20 or so people. And I don't think any more people will be getting kicked until the end of the season, unless someone makes an absurd mistake. So we're pretty much locked in and it's time to get to know each other in this league. So when I've got that a little bit later in the show, make sure you have a look around you, look at all the players who are around you. And if you want to jump in, it isn't too late. You can jump in. You're just going to be a little bit behind. But if you want to compare your teams, then you can. Just let me know. I can get you straight into that league. The league code is available still. We have got a pretty much packed full show, but I do want to squeeze a couple of things in. One of the things I did want to squeeze in was the Arsenal-Man City game. I do want to talk about it a little bit and things that really fried my brain after the game finished. So, I have had plenty of interactions with Man City fans, Arsenal fans all week, all over TikTok and Instagram. And I've had plenty of them trying to tell me, oh yeah, but the ref's corrupt because of this. Oh, but the ref's corrupt because of this. Michael Oliver had a pretty naff game in general. It was tough for him. It was a difficult fixture. He is widely regarded England's best referee. Whether you believe that or not, I don't know. I think he had a tough game and I think it was difficult, but he did make some poor decisions. The one decision that he didn't make that was poor, and I actually think was the right decision, was the Trossard red card. I think that is an obvious second yellow. I do not understand why Arsenal fans are all up in arms about it. Maybe it's because of the Declan Rice thing a couple of weeks ago, but still, these decisions happen. It's up to your players to make sure you don't give the referee a decision to make. He kicked the ball away after receiving the first yellow card. It's just unnecessary. Yes, he might have just done it as the whistle's blown or maybe a second after the whistle's blown. I don't know. Either way, do not risk it. It's a massive game, a lot of pressure. Don't give the referee an opportunity to send you off. Trossard did that. Arteta hugged him after trying to support him, but really, that player's just let you down, Arsenal, and you had to sit in and defend, and the goal coming was inevitable. The thing that I do think Michael Oliver did get wrong was the first goal for Arsenal. And Arsenal fans, you'll probably hate me for this, but genuinely, he's called Kyle Walker out of position all the way over to speak to him. And it drives me nuts when refs constantly speaking to players, telling them what to do, telling them it drives me nuts. Just don't you don't have to speak to the players. Let them do whatever they want to do. They do it at corners, they do it at set pieces when players are kind of tussling. Just let them get on with it. If it's a free kick, it doesn't matter. But he's called him all the way over, out of position. The free kick is taken about 10 yards in front of where it should have been. And it's a quick free kick as Kyle Walker's getting back into position. Yes, Kyle Walker should have switched on, but he's not expecting to be called all the way over and then have to get back and then get set. And by that point, they move so fast. Martinelli's a quick player. He's in. And, City aren't ready. You can say that City should have been more ready, but I think it's an absolute nonsense for me. Michael Oliver, it's a referee making the game about themselves, going, okay, I want centre stage here. Come and speak to me. You come here. Like, just enough of that. Just, you aren't significant. I want to scream in these referees' faces. You are not significant to the game. You shouldn't even be talked about. The idea is you are a blade of grass. You are as insignificant as that. The fact that they are trying to kind of say, oh yeah, but I'm going to take control of the game. No, just get out the way. Get out the way. People don't want to see you. People don't care about you. They don't care about what you've got to say. They just want you to be there to stop things boiling over or going over and crossing the line. Just be there to make the right decisions and get out the way. I'm sick of referees. I think everyone in this country is sick of referees. The thing I will say about that Michael Oliver thing, and I don't think it ever will sit right with me, the fact that he is employed to go over to Saudi and referee the games and flown over by essentially what is Manchester City's owners. I feel there's a conflict of interest. I don't know. It might be ever so slight. It just, with the stakes so high, it just never feels right for me. And obviously, I think regardless of whether he is ever biased, I think just the noise about it and the fact that the Arsenal fans are unhappy about it, it can play a role in the way the game is played. And I think the way that the players will play the game as well. You'll always be constantly thinking the referee's out to get us. It's not the right attitude, but it's inevitable when you've got something that is a little bit sus, a little bit on the edge. So yeah, all in all, a pretty poor week for referees. I don't know if anyone saw the Vicario handball outside the box. I mean, shocking, absolutely shocking. It's right there in front of him. The penalty for West Ham, it was a pretty obvious penalty. The refs bottled it. And then obviously VAR, as they like to do, have changed all rules this season. And they've said to us that they're not going to be getting involved as much. So if a decision is maybe 60-40, they're not going to be the extra 40 or the extra 60 to overturn it or decide it in one way or another. And even that's a little bit frustrating because I think everyone who watches the game, enjoys the game, knows that that's a penalty. I think the VAR probably knows it's probably a penalty and it certainly wouldn't have been overturned if it had been given in play. But once again, it's a farce. A VAR debacle when it doesn't need to be. Either give the decision on field, have the bottle to do it. And also, by the way, referees, you have the opportunity, if anything, you've got the opportunity to go a little bit too strong on decisions and let VAR overturn it. I know they said they didn't want it to be so involved in play and heavily involved in play, but that is the nature of the beast. You've got VAR. It's going to be involved whether you like it or not, and you've got to use it the right way. I don't know. The thing I think which annoys me the most is actually the fans coming out and trying to criticise everything and say everything's against them. Every single team thinks every decision is against them. It's not. It's just the referees are in general incompetent. Right, let's do my team of the week. Pretty basic week actually. I think almost all my players, maybe two or three players don't play in the Premier League. I watch a lot of Premier League football. It's killing me at the moment that BT or TNT have not got the rights to all the Italian games and none of the French games. I loved watching the French League. I love watching the Italian League. I did manage to catch the Milan derby this weekend, but I mean, what's the point? What's the point in playing football if no one can see it? Like, you should be able to just get it across overseas, even if it's at a cut price, so people can watch your league and talk about it and grow it. I just don't understand it. But it's money and money talks. Anyway, team of the week, goalkeeper David Raya. I thought he was fantastic in the game midweek against Atalanta, Champions League. Think he had a really good game against Man City as well. Made a couple of crucial saves. Unlucky to concede. Not really much you can do about the two goals. The Haaland finish and the goal, which was just stabbed in by John Stones last minute. But the double save from him midweek was incredible. The penalty save and then the subsequent save after that he made. And do you know what? Arsenal fans have blown it up this way. Rival fans have blown it down that way and said that it is not a good save. And do you know what? Let's find somewhere in the middle. It's a fantastic save. Give him credit. No, Arsenal fans, David Raya is not now the best goalkeeper in the world. Please relax. And yes, David Raya did make a save. Rival fans, it's a good save. So why do we have to do this? It drives me crazy. I'm pissed off this week. I don't know if you've noticed. Right back, Nusar Mazraoui. 3 clean sheets in a row he's been involved in for Man United, and I think he has been a big part. Obviously, in 2 of them came on a sub against Barnsley, but a really good performance against Palace this week. I was impressed. I don't think Diogo Dalot necessarily has much to worry about in terms of staying in this team. I think he'll play left back if he doesn't play right back, but Mazraoui seems to have that right back position nailed. I don't want him to come out of the side as a Man United fan. So, yeah, I think he's come across. Look, it's quite an underwhelming signing, Mazraoui, but people who had watched him at Bayern and previously at Ajax, you would know that he is a top player. Lovely on the ball, doesn't give it away. He's just super disciplined, but he's always in the right position. He just fills me with confidence. Every time I see Mazraoui on the team sheet, I'm fine. I'm okay. It feels good seeing a right back be able to take the ball under pressure, move it forward, and also get forward himself and get himself into good positions. I think against the right teams, he will show his attacking prowess. As it stands at the moment, I think the way United have been quite negative, quite defensive, but focusing on those clean sheets, and I think he's been a big part of it. Centre-back, Gabriel, monster in the air. What a beast of a centre-back. Nods home what would have been the winning goal for Arsenal until that late equaliser from John Stones. I think Gabriel is part of probably the best centre-back duo in the Premier League, and probably the best centre-back duo in the Premier League for the last 2 or 3 years. He probably surprised a few people because there was always felt like there was a mistake in Gabriel, that he wasn't reliable. He feels reliable now next to Saliba, but he is such a threat from set pieces. And what Kyle Walker is doing on that set piece, I watched it, and in play, I'm watching him just touch him. I'm like, what is he doing? I don't know how that's going to positively impact you in terms of defending against Gabriel. And Gabriel just does a little shimmy, gone, and Kyle Walker's nowhere near him, and Gabriel just monster headers it. It's brilliant. But Gabriel, another goal, another crucial goal for Arsenal, and he's becoming one of, and if not the kind of main player for Arsenal this season, probably. 2 massive goal contributions, and the heart of the centre back duo. So yeah, fantastic from Gabriel. Alongside of him, I've gone Matteo Gabbia. He decided the Milan derby at the weekend with a similar sort of big monster header. It was fantastic, and it was fantastic scenes. That Milan derby was nuts. I absolutely love watching it. Like I said, love Italian football, and it's such a shame that we don't get to see much of it. That one was on TNT, and Matteo Gabbia, only 24, came through at Milan. He obviously got sent out. I think he went to Spain on loan, but he has returned, 24 years old. Feels like this is his chance to really establish himself into the Milan team alongside Tomori. Whether they go for a title or push, I don't know. But that victory, beating Inter, obviously in such a massive game, I think that's crucial. And if Milan can go again, he's going to be a big part of it. So yeah, hats off to him. Left back, I've gone for Diogo Dalot. I think it's frustrating watching Dalot, and anyone who's listened to the This Is United podcast that we do, me and Vince, you will know that I'm a big fan of Diogo Dalot, but he frustrates me at times. His left back role, he's good at it, but I think it's going to take some time for really him to kind of understand the role as a left back as opposed to a right back. It's slightly different. He's got more license as a right back to get forward, and he's got more confidence to get forward. I don't think he trusts himself quite so much on that left-hand side. So when play does develop, I want to see him holding that width and really getting forward. He doesn't seem to do that. He plays quite safe and plays a lot of passes backwards. Where I do love Diogo Dalot, and I think he's phenomenal at it, and it's going under the radar, is when he drops into that little midfield spot, the a la Rico Lewis, John Stones in previous eras, João Cancelo role. When he drops in, he's fantastic. You can give him the ball in tight spaces. He doesn't lose it, but he'll dribble and he'll drive with the ball. this is something that I think Man United should be working on. It's something that Erik ten Hag should notice and spot and go, do you know what? This is a strength of ours. Let's play towards that. He doesn't do it enough. All that responsibility is always on Kobbie Mainoo to do that role. Diogo Dalot is more than capable, and they've got to give him that responsibility, because at the moment, I think Kobbie Mainoo is suffering as a result of it. So, yeah, Diogo Dalot, thought he did that really well, kept a clean sheet against Palace. I do want to see him play in that little inverted role. If you want to go and stick, I don't know, whoever you want to go for a back three and play a 5 at the back, I don't care. Something has to change, and whether you think that is a little bit premature off the back of 3 clean sheets in a row, fair enough. I just do not like this Man United side one bit at the moment. It's really frustrating, and I think we've got to find a way to attack as a team, defend as a team, but also play to each individual player's strengths. Diogo Dalot, I don't think he gets that out of Diogo Dalot on that left-hand side. He may do on the right-hand side, but Mazraoui, like I said, is nailed that. I won't go too much further on Man United because it is probably quite boring for anyone who's not a United fan. We're a mess. We're a mess, and don't let the results and the occasional 7-0 win and the 0-0 away against Palace, don't let that fool you. We're no further than we were last season. Central midfield, I've gone for Moises Caicedo. This is something that I didn't expect to say. I think he was brilliant against West Ham. He got a really cracking assist, lovely little pass, weighted pass into Nicholas Jackson. But I think he was the best midfielder on that team against West Ham. Broke up a lot of play, made some crucial tackles, and really progresses the ball quite well. He is a more confident player this season. I can feel that. The Chelsea fans really, really support him. I was quite surprised by quite how much they do support him. I didn't really find that out until I posted a video about him being a waste of money last season, and the Chelsea fans let me know about it. I didn't see enough from him to be 100, 120 million, whatever the price tag was, but I understand why he is a good player. Whether he's 100 million is another story, and obviously I disagree with that, but I think he started the season really well. I really, really like this Chelsea side. There is something about them that I do feel like they're going to be up there. I'm not saying that they're going to win the league, but if they're top 4, I really wouldn't be surprised this season. I think they're better than Tottenham. I think they're better than Man United. I think they are better in essence, possibly, than Liverpool in certain ways. I think the players are maybe, I don't know. I think the difference with Liverpool is Anfield and Mo Salah. I think that'll be the difference. Obviously, Van Dijk is a massive part to it, and Alisson, but I think Chelsea can keep clean sheets. I really like what Maresca's doing, and I think it's early days, but I think the players are buying into it. Well, you can definitely feel the players are buying into it, and if you can settle on a side, I think the Jackson thing through the middle is going to be a dead cert. I think Caicedo is a dead cert, and I think Enzo Fernandez will play. It's just who's going to play in that third midfield spot. Is it going to be Cole Palmer in a 10, which I do like? Is it going to be Madueke on the right or Sancho on the left? I think they just need to nail down who is playing and a consistent team, and then I think Chelsea can go really far. I do really like this side. I think this is going to be one of my favourite performances of the weekend. Tijjani Reinders came across to Milan, and it was kind of a deal that I really think now in hindsight that a lot of Premier League clubs should have gone for. If you're coming from the Dutch league, you usually expect Erik ten Hag to be right on you and signing you. It feels like a Man United player profile that would have just suited us perfectly, but we've missed this one, and we've got, whether we've got the right ones or wrong ones, I don't know, but he's brilliant. He's absolutely phenomenal. I love watching him play. I've seen him play for the Dutch national side, and I don't think he's had the best of games for the national side. But when he's playing for Milan, first season at Milan last season, pretty solid. But this season, I feel like he's gone on to another level. The way he carries the ball, this is what Man United really wanted. I hate always going back to Man United, but it's so obvious. It's screaming at us. Like, you want a player who can win the ball, but also carry the ball. This is what Man United wanted in Frenkie de Jong. It's what Erik ten Hag went all out to get. Where was the kind of profiling for this player? He is He is that. He does that. He does the kind of hard work, but he carries the ball so well. I thought he was brilliant in the Milan derby. Again, like I said, I won't repeat myself, but massive pressure, massive game. And I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch. I thought he was fantastic. Finishing off that midfield, Cole Palmer in a 10. Cole Palmer in front of goal. He's running through on goal. I'd never expect him to miss. He's such a clever player. I do like Cole Palmer. How Man City have let him go, I have no idea. I think Cole Palmer is going to be a world-class player, and I think he's not far off it already. I think if he's Spanish or an Italian player or a Dutch player, I really think Cole Palmer would be regarded as high as a Vinicius Jr. If he was Brazilian, they would be talking about him like he is Rodrigo. I just think because he's English, because he's white and scrawny, and because he looks like he does, I think people don't rate him as highly as they should. And I know people love Cole Palmer. I just think there is something missing to him. If he had long hair and he was Spanish and his name wasn't Cole Palmer, I think people would be like, okay, this is a world-class right winger or midfielder or wherever you want to play him. This is the thing; he's so versatile. You can play all across that midfield. I trust him to play centre midfield. I honestly would. I think he's that good on the ball, but he's brilliant off the right and brilliant as he's attacking and running through on goal, as we saw against West Ham. Fantastic finish. Right wing, Christian Pulisic. He is my performance of the weekend. Man of the match for me in the Milan derby. Scored a wonderful, wonderful goal. It was like, you know, when you see a player, they're not just bang up for it. They are kind of in that flow state. Everything that they do is perfect and going their way. That's what it was like watching Pulisic in that game. I'm quite happy for him because I think Pulisic was a player that I really thought under Chelsea, I thought he was going to be a top player. And then it kind of just fell away. And I don't really know what happened. He's got the ability to play at a top club, as he's proven with Milan. And yeah, that performance was fantastic. He's had a really good start to the season, by the way, scored a couple of goals. But that goal was really great. If you haven't seen it, just dribbles past players like they're not there and then slots it away. Lovely goal. Left wing, Savinho. He's a player, isn't he? Like, let's be honest, he is a player. I know City have gone and done it again, and it'll drive us all nuts in the Premier League. But Savinho, the assist for the Haaland goal, the touch is just world class. It's unbelievable. It's so simple but so effective. The touch out of his feet, all of a sudden, Arsenal are running back towards goal. And I watched an Adam Cleary video of it earlier talking about how the touch and Calafiori doesn't necessarily do the wrong thing in pressing him, but what it does do is leave a lot of space behind him. But then the City players driving into space and then the Arsenal players don't know what to do, all from that beautiful first touch at his feet. I actually don't know if you can get the ball off this guy. I think he is a player who, similar to Doku, in that when he's got the ball, you just want to back off, just give him space. But I think he could have more end product than Doku. And I think ultimately that right wing position, Savinho might have just nailed. I think it's a fantastic signing and something that is a little bit of spice in what is quite a plain City team. And I mean that in a positive way. They're a plain side because they are just so simple, ruthless and effective. Savinho's got that little bit of spice. He's your chicken and then you just sprinkle a little bit of paprika on it. Nice. It kills me to say it. Again, Man City have got a potential world-class player. It leaves me with no words because they've gone and got Savinho and it's kind of gone under the radar. Yes, it was from Girona and obviously there's a little bit of back and forth between the clubs and there's owned by them and whatever. It's not clean, but they have identified that player and brought him over. Meanwhile, let's go back to Man United again. We bought Anthony for 70, 80 million, Jadon Sancho for 70, 80 million, and however many wingers we want to bring in and forwards we want to bring in for 40, 50, 60 million. And Savinho's just there like doing his own thing and already better than all of them. All of them. Again, another Man City triumph and another highlight for a lot of top clubs who are just spending money on absolute waste of spaces when you've got players who've got genuine quality. I just don't understand who is doing the player profiling. Can't get my words out. I'm so annoyed. Striker, I've gone for Nicholas Jackson. Cannot believe, again, I'm saying it, Nicholas Jackson, 2 goals, fantastic against West Ham. Lovely finish as he ran through. And he just felt like he was always going to score that goal. And it's not a player that I would really say I like, but he is effective. And whatever that means, does that mean you're good? Maybe it does. You know? Because when the ball's at his feet, there's no doubt he's a top player. Ball's at his feet, he's brilliant with the ball at his feet. It's just in and around goal, he just can really frustrate you. He's just lacks I think he lacks the intelligence, and I don't mean that in a negative way, because I mean that in like an experience way. Maybe I should say experience, not intelligence. But it's just like, you know, when you see players with the ball at their feet, like remember Henry, and he gets in front of goal, he knows where to be, how to finish. Raheem Sterling for years at Man City knows where to be, how to finish, the simple things. Nicholas Jackson always feels like he's not doing that, and he should be doing that. But then he'll go and pull up 2 goals and have a man of the match performance against West Ham. So I don't know. But yeah, fantastic from Nicholas Jackson. And I, again, didn't realise how much Chelsea fans really liked him until I put a video up last season. And I got a lot of stick for it. I won't lie. But that's what we're here for. Right, let's have a look at our day 1 fantasy teams.
1 day for day 1.
Like I said, the first week where I haven't had to kick anyone, it's going to be interesting because these, for me, I think will be the teams that will stay throughout the whole season. I don't think anyone's going to be kicked. If you do, you're mental because you've got it down from 100 down to 20 of us. So you've got a really good chance to win this league and win £100. At the top is Vince. Someone beat Vince. Come on. We can't have someone from the podcast winning it. He's on 338 points. Fantastic week from Vince, 60 points. Dale Priest, I told you, look out for Dale Priest. There's something about him when it comes to fantasy. Whenever I've seen him, he's always top of leagues. And even on the day 1, he's right up there. 336, only 2 points away from Vince. Liam's day 1 team, that's Liam Edgar. You are still right up there. 54 points. Not as great a week as you would have hoped, but still sticking by. You're only 8 points off top. You've got Jordan Banfield going really well. He's on 327. Big Yeti Joe on 322. Tom Jordan's team on 320. That guy can't win. Jody Finucane 314, Reece Watkins 309. My team, let's be honest, distinctly average, and I would say maybe less than average. 297, not the greatest week. I am heavily reliant on, for some reason, Rashford and Garnacho, which was a mental decision, and Bruno Fernandes, who cannot shoot. For some reason, over the last 2 seasons, he's been space jammed. Bottom of the league, propping us up, as I think usual, is Elliot Van Plu. That's big Elliot Van Plu. Elliot Wheaton, you have 217 points. It's actually quite impressive to have such few points at this stage. But you never know if Eze turns it on and starts scoring. This is the thing with fantasy. If you go for the day 1 players and the day 1 teams, anything could happen. Haaland could get injured, Salah could get injured, and all of a sudden this league could be flipped upside down. So, I don't know, keep an eye. Anything could happen. Right, I've decided to add a little feature in this week before I go. It's my outrageous takes of the week. We've been getting a lot of comments, a lot of negative comments, and we kind of enjoy them. I won't lie. It's kind of like one of those things where we shouldn't and we should be offended, but we quite enjoy replying to them. The outrageous takes of the week, I've picked some key responses to some of our videos who I think I've just said something absolutely outrageous, and I thought I'd share them with you because a lot of the time you're not going to see them, so why not share them with you? The first one I do want to share is from Hangify. I posted a video about Haaland being the best striker in the league. He said, in my opinion, it's not Haaland, it's Pep Guardiola style football. So Haaland wasn't scoring goals before he came to Man City. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. It's obviously outrageous to say that. Ridiculous, because Gabriel Jesus played in that team and didn't score that amount of goals. Aguero didn't even score that amount of goals. And who else has he played up front? Julian Alvarez didn't play and score that many goals. Pep's side, Sterling had a great season, maybe 20 goals. Erling Haaland scores like 30 to 40. That's next level. So yeah, for me, like I said last week, best striker the Premier League's ever seen. Reece Keys, he said, we don't have ears, so we'll never know. That was in response to me saying that Leandro Trossard didn't hear the whistle. Reece, I think, thinks Leandro Trossard's ears work differently to normal human beings and is therefore, as an Arsenal fan, suggesting that Trossard didn't hear the whistle. Why are Arsenal fans like this? And I'm sorry if you're an Arsenal fan and listen to this and you actually are a sane person, but why are you all so ridiculously over the top, defensive, weird? Like it's almost like you cannot. You're the most insecure. You're just the most insecure people. Like it's okay that your player made a mistake. You can admit that. Leandro Trossard made a mistake. He got booked for it and then got sent off for it. He doesn't have different ears to us. Please. What actually goes through your head as an Arsenal fan? We don't have his ears, so we'll never know if he heard it. The whistle. Have you ever heard a referee's whistle? It's loud, and he was right behind him, and he booted the ball away, and it was about a second between. We've got audio capture. We've heard that there is a gap. The whistle went. He booted the ball away. He has ears. Will P. He said, "Why are you not having it? How can you possibly know?" That was about the Leandro Trossard incident. I said, because he boots it after the whistle goes, so because I have both functioning eyes and ears, I'm therefore not having it. Will, again, another Arsenal fan, why are you not having it? How can you possibly know? Because of these. Jan, he said, that's a lie. Fofana was never good. That was in response to me talking about Wesley Fofana being a good player. He was good at Leicester. He was a top-touted centre-half. Leicester managed to get him, I think it was like 30, 40 million, whatever it was. And Chelsea deemed him good enough to spend 80 million quid on him. He's a very, very good centre-half, a very good prospect. He just had a difficult patch, obviously, after his injury, and he's trying to get back. He was always a good player. Illy Cornell. He said, if tomorrow was my last day and someone would say you need to watch women's football to live, I'd say no, thank you. That's an outrageous statement. No, I'd rather stay alive and watch women's football. It's not that bad. It's just slow. Big Lambert said, this chat is dead for one reason, and the main reason, the standard of defence is piss poor at best, so he will look outstanding. That is about Haaland being the best that the Premier League's ever seen. He actually thinks that for some reason it's the defenders is why Haaland is so good in scoring goals. I said, you think Haaland wouldn't score 30 plus goals against Ryan Shawcross, Craig Dawson or Titus Bramble? He said no, because he would get bodied. You can't argue with these people. I've realised you actually can't argue with these people. To think Haaland wouldn't score 30 goals in 2006 is mad. He would, and he would maybe even score more. He's got bigger, stronger, quicker defenders to play against, and he bodies them. So why you think Craig Dawson or Ryan Shawcross would body him, I don't know. And I think even them two themselves would admit that, yeah, Haaland would score a few against him. Right, let's do the weekend treble. It is the end of the show, so I want to leave you with something worth listening to the whole show for, and that is my weekend treble. As people may already know, I pick 3 different selections every week. Those 3 selections you put £10 on, or whatever you want to, or whatever you can afford, or nothing, and just follow it for shits and gigs. But it's about 2 to 1, so usually I put £10 on, you get about £20 to £30 back. We're aiming to make a profit. This season, we are now officially profitable by £99.47 if you'd have backed it with £10 every week. That is pure profit. That's not including your stake. £99. That's amazing. Man City over 1.5 goals this week against Newcastle. Liverpool over 1.5 goals against Wolves. And Barcelona over 1.5 goals against Osasuna. £10 on returns £27.12. That would make it our 5th week in a row with a winning selection. We're on 4 in a row. We're on 5 out of 6 selections so far. I've only lost once this season in 6 weeks. That's pretty impressive. You've got to take your hat off to me at one point. I don't know about this week. I said last week, I think it was the most difficult week that I found to find selections. I went with Wickham. I thought Wickham were a good shout, and then they had to leave it to the 85th minute to win it. But I thought there was no way Cambridge could get a result there. I was really happy with last week's treble because, like I said, it was such a difficult week to find something that I really liked, and I couldn't find it, and I was worried, and I didn't want to let you guys down, but I found it. So yes, I would give it a go, because look, if we lose now, we are still profitable. If we lose the next 9 in a row, we are still profitable. So if you'd have followed me at the start, great. If you want to follow me now, it's not too late. I really fancy us to make a healthy profit this season. I have got a little wager with Vince on the This Is United podcast, so make sure you go across and listen to his episodes. Those are on Thursdays, and you'll see our little wager that we've got against each other with our weekend trebles. Either way, I'm going to win because I feel good about it. I just feel on form. But stick with me this season. I'm going to be back here every week, every Wednesday for the rest of the season. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.